felt like you're constantly fighting against the current of life? What if you could just stop and instead simply choose a different river to float down entirely? Well, that's the wild and fascinating promise behind a model called Reality Transurfing. It basically says we don't have to change our reality, we just have to choose a new one. We're all taught that life is a struggle, right? That you got to fight for what you want. But what if that whole idea is just wrong? What if instead of trying to push that giant boulder uphill, you could just step onto a path where the boulder doesn't even exist? That's the huge shift in thinking we're going to dive into. So you're probably wondering, how on earth is that even possible? Well, to get how we can choose our reality, we first need a totally new map of what reality actually is. At the heart of this whole thing is something called the space of variations. Just imagine an infinite information field, kind of like a cosmic Google server, that holds the script for every single possible scenario. Everything you can imagine, every version of your life already exists there as a blueprint, just waiting. This right here breaks it down perfectly. Think about the life you're living right now. That's just one single frame of a movie that's playing. But the space of variations? That's the entire movie studio archive, with every possible film ever made or that could be made. Our current life is just the effect. That massive space of potential is the cause. And this is the most important takeaway. The whole point of transurfing isn't about using brute force to change the scene you're in. Nope. It's about learning how to consciously pick a different movie from that archive and just press play. The real power isn't in changing things, it's in choosing things. Okay, so if all these different realities are out there for the taking, why do we feel so stuck so often? Why does it feel like we're on a single track we can't get off of? Turns out, there are these invisible forces that are working to keep us locked into a very specific script. These things are called pendulums. And what are they? Well, whenever a group of people starts thinking in the same direction, they create this big blob of energy. The only goal of a pendulum is to get more energy, and it does that by making you emotional. It doesn't care if you're happy, sad, angry, or scared. As long as you're feeling something strongly, you're feeding it, and it's got you hooked. And once you see them everywhere. A screaming political debate online, the rush to buy the latest gadget, the 24/7 news cycle pumping out fear, even that ridiculous drama that always seems to pop up at family gatherings. These are all pendulums, and they are all competing for your emotional energy. Now, there's another sneaky trap here, and transurfing calls it importance. This happens when you make something way too important. When you desperately, desperately need that job, or you're terrified of failing that test. You're creating this massive energetic imbalance, and the universe, which loves balance, sends in forces to calm things down, which usually means giving you the exact opposite of what you want. It's a cosmic paradox. All right, so we've got our new map of reality, and we know about the invisible forces trying to keep us stuck. So now for the fun part. Let's learn the rules of the game. These are the actual mechanics for navigating this whole new landscape. This distinction is absolutely critical. Inner intention is what we do every day. We push, we struggle, we try to force our way through obstacles. But outer intention, that's the secret sauce of transurfing. It's not about forcing anything. It's a quiet, calm, unshakable belief that you are simply choosing a reality where your goal is already a done deal. You're not focused on the how. You're focused on the end result. But here's the catch, and it's a big one. To make outer intention work, your signal has to be crystal clear. Your mind can't be thinking, I want a new car, while your heart is feeling, I'll never be able to afford it. Your thoughts and your feelings have to be singing the same tune. That unity creates this powerful, coherent signal that tunes you into your desired reality. Okay, that's the theory. So how do we actually do this? Let's get into the practical tools you can use to consciously pick out and shift over to the reality you really want. The main tool in your toolkit is called the slide. Now, this is not just some fuzzy daydream. It's a high-definition mental movie of your goal, already achieved. And here's the most important part. You don't just see it, you have to feel it. You have to literally soak in the positive emotions of having that reality right now. So here's the breakdown. Step 1, you create that super vivid picture in your mind. Step 2, you generate the feelings that go with it: joy, relief, gratitude. Step 3, you make a habit of popping into this mental movie regularly, just calmly and consistently. And step 4, this is the hardest but most crucial part, you let it go. You release that desperate need for it to happen, you drop the importance, and you trust that the universe got your order.
Look at this. This is outer intention in action. Instead of complaining about your awful job, which just keeps feeding that negative pendulum, you just calmly declare your choice. You're not begging, you're not wishing, you're not hoping. You are choosing. It's a statement of fact.
Choosing your reality is a massive first step, but staying on that path and moving with a sense of ease, well, that's the next level. This last part is all about mastering the art of flow instead of fighting against the current. Just like a river, the space of variations has currents. Some are choppy and difficult, but some are smooth. These are the paths of least resistance, where things just seem to work out perfectly. When you let go of that suffocating importance and just start paying attention to the signs around you, you can stop fighting the river and finally start flowing with it. So, how do you know which way the current is flowing? You listen. You listen for what transurfing poetically calls the rustle of the morning stars. What is that? It's that quiet voice inside. It's your intuition, your gut feeling, that little nudge that tells you to turn left instead of right. It's your built-in compass for navigating these unseen currents. So, when you put this all together, what's the real payoff? We're talking about way less stress and anxiety. A genuine feeling that you are in the driver's seat. Freedom from all those negative pendulums trying to manipulate you. A stronger connection to your own intuition. It is a complete shift from being a pawn pushed around by life to becoming the empowered navigator of your own reality. So, I'll just leave you with this one question. If this is all even partially true, if you really are the navigator of your own ship with an infinite ocean of possibilities in front of you, which reality are you going to choose?
Rise up, rise high. Let your spirit take flight. Chase the stars, never back down from the fight. We're warriors inside.